What you're about to see is an interview I did with a presidential candidate here in Costa Rica that actually got the candidacy for his particular party. Now, I'm going to be interviewing a lot of different candidates, and this particular candidate, in my opinion, is one of the special ones. There's always controversy with anything, somebody believing in one thing or another. But what I found about this candidate, it's not the fact that he's into this one party or this other party. What I found is that he would be, if he would be elected, he'd be a president, what in quotes of people would be a person with, I think, an opportunity. I call it more opportunity, not a disability. He's actually deaf. And him being deaf, to me, is, I hear and see and talk and everything, and I'm like, man, what he went through to just learn to speak, let alone operate in society. But you know what makes it even more considering? He went to a university in the States, Berkeley, and talking with him, talking with his father, the family a little bit, it was quite enlightening, but also an experience. You know how close you get to meet a candidate up close and personal, to right before they even get. And then today that I'm watching this video, he got nominated by his party to participate, and you're going to see a little bit of that in his interview with his dad. Pura vida and always be safe. Don Álvaro, how you doing? We're so excited to hear, just to interview, to have the presidential race. What made you do that?
Why am I?
For president, yes.
Well, it was mainly a decision related to democratic backsliding in the entire world, and especially in Latin America. Now in Costa Rica, we are suffering from a process of democratic backsliding. This process starts because people get frustrated that democracy is not answering their problem. Democracy is not building the solution they expect. So when that is the problem, people start rejecting democracy and seeking other approaches. In Costa Rica, we are very lucky that the major party of Costa Rica, Liberación Nacional, was born to defend democracy. So when I started noticing that we were in this process, I said, well, I have always been strongly affiliated to Liberación Nacional. I should help within Liberación Nacional to make the party stronger and ensure that we remain the same exceptional country we have always been. We have always been an uncommonly strong democracy. So, yes.
Thank you so much for just expressing how you love this country. I have a question regarding the Caja. The Caja for many years has had great logos, but they also have had challenges now with the population getting older. What in your government do you plan on the aging population that we have here and how it affects health in your plan?
Yes. So healthcare is a major part of our political platform. I was the executive president of the Caja, so I know it very well. However, I'm running for president of the country. Part of the secret of why the Caja has worked so well in the past is because it was given a great degree of freedom of being able to build technical solutions to a very technical problem, healthcare. And the role of central government was mainly in terms of supporting the ability of the Caja to build those technical solutions. So right now, I'm very well aware that the Caja has the technical solution to close the breach in the ability to provide healthcare. Second, it has enough money. The Caja is not bankrupt. that this government has insisted it is bankrupt. And then it take all the extra money the Caja has and move it toward giving the Ministry of Finance more money. So instead of fixing the healthcare problem of the population, so in our government we will return the Caja to its main role, which is to provide healthcare.
Well, with the healthcare, right now healthcare is centralized in the central area of the Central Valley of Costa Rica. Do you have a plan for moving healthcare to the regional areas where it's needed? Because right now there's a big disparity from the central to the outside, which doesn't receive the same amount of care.
Certainly, indeed, the project has several steps. First, we have to build more general practitioner teams. In Costa Rica, we have a system of more than 1,000 general practitioner teams. The idea is to get this to nearly 1,500 general practitioner team. Within every general practitioner team, besides the general practitioner, you usually have a nurse, an administrative assistant, and also an assistant of medical care. This medical care assistant is extremely important in Costa Rica because this is the person that goes and visit people. So as the population gets older, it is harder for older people, especially in very remote areas, to move to a hospital or to a clinic. So the role of the assistant in healthcare that goes to the community is extremely important. And we are going to strengthen this specific role significantly.
In summary, what would you like to tell the people visiting Costa Rica that are thinking of retiring to Costa Rica, and the population as president, what you'd like to do in summary so you can go to your event?
Well, I mean, we have always been a very open, warm country. We love to tell people, look, visit country because we are an educated people, we are healthy people, we are peaceful people, and for us, those 3 points, education, healthcare, and safety, are extremely important. They are part of our platform. We are going to work extremely hard to ensure that the Costa Rica that the world knows and loves remains so forever.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Don Álvaro, you're the son for this presidential candidate here in Liberación. Can you tell me a little bit about your son and why you took this aspiration to be president of this country?
I think the first inspiration to take the risk to be a president in Costa Rica and the challenge is that he was a person that always, since he was extremely young, 1 year and 8 months, he started a road to improve his condition. First of all, a deaf person.
He's deaf, yes.
Yeah, he's a deaf person, a legal deaf person, and he knew since very young, less than 2 years old, what it means to be under your working so hard in order to get hearing, understanding, and speaking. So it formed in his mind, it creates in his mind the idea that if you combine family values, hard working, and policies, national policies, government policies that help the people who is more in risk, in dangerous, you can achieve great things. Then he started to think how to work with the people, how to work in teamwork. He's an expert to work in teamwork, and particularly he developed a special capability to have several ideas at the same time and create a new idea. Now he has the ideas to improve education, to improve public health, to improve citizen security and national security, how to have a better society in Costa Rica. He is a new generation, is the real change in the generation to be in power. So is also a person, a family person, a husband, a very good and very well husband.
He has a heart. He's got a real heart.
He has a heart. He's a person who believes. He's a religious person. He's a excellent, the best father available. That means he will be the best president in Costa Rica.
Your son went to Berkeley, right?
Yes.
He got a PhD in Berkeley.
Yeah. He has a PhD in Berkeley. He was one of the youngest ever, and also the first deaf person who get the PhD in economics at Berkeley, University of California at Berkeley.
Those of you, you're looking to see who they're voting for. This is the father of the candidate for Liberación Nacional. Now, the candidate, he's still into candidacy through the party to get voted so he can represent the party, correct?
Yes, April the 6th, it will be the internal election in Liberación in order to select the candidate who will be the party, Partido Liberación Nacional representative, legal representative, in order to be in the election February the 1st, 2026. It's important to understand that we are not only in this particular election risking one candidate or another, the best candidate or the worst. We are risking democracy here. For the first time in generation, Costa Rica is facing the prospect, the possibility that we lost liberties, democracy, and the country become a narco state. Now we are in the first stages to be a narco state. All this is at risk for the first time in Costa Rica history.
You know what?
And I expect that Álvaro, that is a decent person, a decent human being, is the person most qualified to return democracy to Costa Rica, return freedom, return civility to Costa Rica.
And he really loves the Caja system.
Absolutely. He is a real believer, probably the most in Costa Rica, in the national public health and how this national public health, that which Caja is the best of the institution, the most important of the institution, is central to Costa Rican stability, central to Costa Rican democracy. Álvaro is by far the defender and the most clear believer that Caja is the right vehicle to achieve high standard of living, and particularly high standard of pensions and high standard of health protection.
So he talked about health, he talked about education, he talked about really caring about the
And
people.
pensions. He's an expert in pension too.
So thank you so much for taking the time
My
to
pleasure.
express yourself about your son. I would only know him briefly, but you know what? He shows real positive that he cares about this country. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
For
Thank
those
you.
of you guys thinking about Costa Rica, this is a father, the future, well, he wants to be future president.
Thank you very much.
You know, it was an opportunity to come here to interview our future running president here in Costa Rica. It is such a great pleasure. To be honest with you, when you listen to the speech, you talk to the person, and then you finally talk to the father. Any father would be proud to have their son up for such an important role here in Costa Rica. But today we talked to Alvaro's dad, and I think that was probably the icing on the cake. But you know what? I asked Alvaro's dad, you know what? Who's the smart person in the family? You know what he told me? The mom. You know, mothers are so beautiful. I hope you take care of yours, pura vida, and always be safe.